Hi friends. If you click to check out Pat McGrath's Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad Total, then please keep on watching. Hi, I'm Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. These just came in the mail, fam. They just came in the mail. With that said, this will be a first impressions, as well as letting you know that timestamps will be down below, as well as sections on the time bar right here. You want to click to any portion of the video you wish to see, whether it just be the product details, the swatches, and or the demos. I guess a word about what's been happening with this atrocious shipping. You know how much I love Pat McGrath, but this has happened before with the Star Wars debacle and the Divine Rose drop. There have been a lot of shipping distribution center scandals happening over at Pat McGrath Labs, and I don't have any answers. All I can say is that I understand your frustration, and yes, I ordered these maybe 2 weeks ago and they just came today. I would like to still present another perspective as to why this has taken so long, especially with what's happening in terms of not as many people working. Maybe they limited how many people were at the distribution center this time around. Pat McGrath Labs received a lot of orders, and perhaps the circumstances just negatively impacted how quickly people get their packages. But I understand though, shipping has been on and off even pre-quarantine, okay? Although they had the launch date, maybe the products weren't actually at the distribution center to be shipped out at the time. And I do think it's to the brand's benefit that they keep in contact with their customers, letting us know what's going on. We're all on the mailing list, say, hey, this is what happened. We're really sorry about this delay. And forget it, if you are an international customer, that was a whole mess. And even though I ordered the highlighter with the quad ship, but I think the highlighter is shipping today. And that works out because I'll do a review video just with the highlighter, as well as the Natasha Denona and the Charlotte Tilbury. Needless to say, if this is your first time encountering a Pat McGrath video, she had released her Celestial Divinity collection with her mothership Mega. Back in September 25th is when this dropped. She had previewed the rest of the collection, and alongside the quads, the highlighter, she had also released several lipsticks, different bundles. Like you could get the eyeshadow palette with the highlighter, you could get all 3 quads. I was bummed to see that there was a bundle for the quads after I had bought them individually. I could have saved like $26. It's fine. It's totally fine. If you remember, last year, Mother Pat released her Blitz Astral Quads in 2019 for the holiday season. She released 3, and it was the first time doing so in the mothership packaging, but in quad form. Now these retailed for $65 because each quad featured, whether it was her VR formula, her Blitz formula, the multi-metallic formula, all the special shades that are found exclusively in her 10-pan mothership palettes were then just by themselves in the quads. People were excited, or people were like, I don't know about that, because the reason why I don't get the mothership palette is because 1, it's expensive, okay? Number 2, I don't like those glitter shades. But then you had other people who were like, well, I actually love the glitter glitzy shades and I could do without the rest of what's in the palette. So last year was an opportunity for you to just get the special Blitz shades, as well as the astral shades, and again the molten metallic shades and all that. So here, for instance, is Iconic Illumination from last year, one of my most favorite curations from Pat, Nocturnal Nirvana, and Ritualistic Rose, which I showed initially. So with that said, why don't we go into the product details, shall we? Introducing the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad, and each box has a designated color. So you got the blue, the lavender, and the pink, which is why I wore this shirt, because I feel like it matches. Now take note of the name change, fam. This year, they're called the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad. Last year, they were called the Blitz Astral Quad, which spoke to the exclusive formulas that were housed in that quad, which is also why those quads were $65. These are $58. And you can see that's indicated by the fact that we have a mixture of formulas in here. You have a special formula, you got a satin formula, and you have a matte. Some people might be upset about that, but here is my devil's advocate perspective about it. I think it's good. If you couldn't take all 4 special shades, if you feel last year's quads, although they were beautiful, you felt you needed to dip out anyway for a matte, for a satin shade, something to kind of offset the glittery dazzle wham bam character of those shades. And although with the quads from this year, not all shades are the Blitz Astro formula, you still have a nice array of different textures that I feel can present a more comprehensive, a less intimidating experience when creating an eye look. And I think this holiday collection is primarily targeting the part of the makeup audience who really didn't buy Pat McGrath because of the price, because of this heavy duty packaging. Like, if they couldn't get down with this, well, you know what? You got Mothership Mega for $78. 18 shades. This is an astonishing palette because people were afraid. They saw the cheaper packaging and they're like, oh no, does that mean less than better formula? No, the formula is very consistent with what we found in her Mothership, her smaller Mothership palette. So that was a great find. So today we'll see how these Luxe quads compare. Once again with the product details, each quad retails for $58. Each pan weighs in at 1.72 grams or 0.06 ounces, whereas last year it was either 1.5 grams or 0.05 ounces. I think because last year's formula was like a baked formula, which I think ends up being lighter than a traditional powder or satin. The Risqué Rose shelf life is 24 months, whereas the Interstellar Icon and Fleur Fantasia have a suggested shelf life of 12 months, but Risqué Rose is made in Italy. Interstellar Icon and Fleur Fantasia are both made in USA of US and imported ingredients. We've seen this before, not only in Mothership Mega, but in Golden Opulence, in Star Wars, in Rose Decadence, right? So we'll see how it all goes. Each quad has their own beautifully scripted description. Interstellar Icon, just a peek. This galactic glamorous quad brings deep space drama to the eyes in stellar shades of electric turquoise, golden champagne, deep shimmering burgundy, and rich golden rose. Risqué Rose dare to go where no divine diva has gone before in the glittering galactic glamour of an electrifying quartet of ravishing rose eyeshadows, each rendered in a bold, brilliant, brand new formula direct from the lab. And Risqué Rose, okay, we'll keep an eye out for that one. Fleur Fantasia, prepare for pastel perfection with 4 floral inspired shades that deliver delicate divinity to the eyes in a sublime spectrum of opalescent blue, lavender pink, transformed with pale gold, shimmering orchid pink, and matte peach. If I'm reading correctly, it looks like Risqué Rose is the only quad that features a new formula. A note about the quad construction. Now, last year we had the mirrored gold back. This year we have a black back, but with stickers. That's saving, okay? Maybe having the gold back would have been more expensive, and having the extra card that came in the box was more expensive, so we got a sticker. We got a sticker with the shade names. It's okay. And we have a nice size mirror. I can see a square face, you know. Golden Polaris, a luminous rose gold. That is beautifully smooth. Before I swatch Hypnotique, I don't know if you could see that shift. Oh, there it is. Hypnotique, electric warm blue metallic. I like that. This is a duochrome. I don't know if you can see how it changes. There's like a purple shift in there that reminds me of Dark Star. I'm gonna swatch Dark Star after I swatch these. Can you guess where blue blood is from? Did you guess Decadence? You guessed correctly. And this blue blood is very consistent with the blue blood that exists in the original Decadence. And people are like, I'm pissed, Alicia. Why is there a repeat in here? Well, much like what we discussed with the repeated Star Wars shades in our Celestial Divinity Mothership Mega palette, if you didn't get Decadence and you really like blue blood, it's in here. That's it. If you don't want the repeat, maybe she'll come out with the single with these shades. Who knows what she'll do? She has surprises thus far this year. Divine Dahlia. Iridescent bronze taupe. That is absolutely gorgeous. beautiful curation of shades from Interstellar Icon. Up next, we have Risqué Rose. Risqué Rose got the new formula. Oh, I think it's this. This texture is unlike anything I've ever seen from Pat. Rose Rebellion. Creamy matte fuchsia. Dare I say is leaning a little satin, but that is beautiful. Lavender Daring, which also is a opulous gloss shade. Oh my gosh. Duochrome Platinum Sparkle with Lavender Flash. Oh yeah, that is definitely a new formula. It flips from a very light antique gold to a lavender. I don't know if you can detect that. It's very hard to see, but man, that's pretty. Mink Noir. Blackened Brown. Whoa. I need to swatch that next to Major Mahogany. Lastly, we have Life on Mars, which is a copper rose. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely beautiful. Copper rose is a dead-on perfect description for that color. I know it's not all Blitz and Astral shades, fam. I know. But these textures are exquisite. I'm just saying, it's just a swatch. We gotta check on how they do on the eyes, okay? But right now, I'm feeling good about it. This is the one that matches my shirt. Huetopia. Pale rose gold highlight that now I have to put on my cheekbones because yes, Lavender Blue. Duochrome lavender shimmer with blue flash. Oh, hey there. That's gorgeous. Iridescent Orchid. Warm magenta metallic with purple flash. This is a very pastel quad. It reads more spring to me. Pat saw something in her holiday vision that compelled her to include these shades in her offering. I don't know. We just gotta enter her brain for a minute. Lotus Paradise is a pink peach matte, which I will be also putting on my cheeks. And these on the cheekbones. Oh my gosh, you know what? I know it's springy, I know it's pastel. What is she doing? But they're so pretty. Let's quickly go into comparisons. Yeah, I want to head back over to Interstellar Icon because 2018's Dark Star that has Interstellar. I love how she brings back themes within her own collection. It just really ties it all together. Right next to Hypnotique. Hypnotique has more of a lavender flip, whereas Interstellar is more of like an actual blue. And if we were to quickly head over to Nocturnal Nirvana, this shade here is definitely more of a turquoise. It also is the Blitz formula. So you could right over Hypnotique. That has a little more of a turquoise feel, which dare I say is a little more tropical, you know what I'm saying? I want to swatch this. I freaking cannot remember. Fuchsia Flash. Next to the Fuchsia Satin Matte from Risqué Rose. That will look really nice together, but this reads a little more magenta maybe. Peach Dusk from Rose Decadence, which right off the bat is pulling a little more coral. This is a little more peach, that's a little more coral salmon. And Venusian Orchid from Mothership Mega kind of reminded me of the Lotus shade. Swatch it right here. That's like a dustier rose leaning matte. Major Mahogs, want to do Major Mahogs. Let me go back into Celestial Divinity. It's this shade here, which I think off the bat from seeing it is more of like a red toned matte. For sure. Dare I say a little bit more plum. This is more like a black and brown. Those are the swatches with some comparisons, some standout ones anyway. You know, I'm always more than happy to come back on here and do more comparisons on a live. Let me know if you want that down below so we can maybe do more looks with these quads. And with all product details and swatches out of the way, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Carved under the brows with Mario's Master Prepping Set and primed the majority of my lid with Hourglass's Veil Eye Primer. Let's start out with Interstellar Icon, shall we? We know what Blue Blood looks like, so I want to go in with Divine Dahlia. This looks like, my gosh. I'm taking it with my finger because these types of metallic textures I feel apply best with a, oh my heavens me. This shade has body. The flex in here have like a lime gold tint to it. I can't explain. There's something going on with the shade. With my Koyudo P04 brush, taking a little more of Divine Dahlia and just carving under the crease just to better shape it. Can you imagine just that all over? You're done. Look number 1 complete. If you're not familiar with Pat's metallic shades, this is one that has, for instance, Wicked Envy from Midnight Sun. It has that beautiful metallic base, but then you have the flecks in here, much like Saturnalia, Lotus Luxe from Golden Opulence. So there I feel is like a subcategory of metallics that exists within her portfolio, and Divine Dahlia is definitely one of those. We got to do it. We have to do it. On the inner corner, but overlapping Divine Dahlia. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. All over the lid too would have been just beautiful, but I think this overlaps phenomenally. Even though it's like a blue lavender duochrome, the hue of Divine Dahlia, I just think merges perfectly with this color story. Take it through here. I definitely have to come back on here and do more Luxe, fam. Like, just with this quad alone, my brain is like, rah! Look at that. Look, are you freaking kidding me? Taking Blue Blood as our, you know, crease smoke. Now, this is more of like a true metallic from Pat that exists in her Decadence, which people love simply because it doesn't have any mattes, it doesn't have any blitz or astral shades. It's just this formula, and I feel people are just more comfortable dealing with this texture. Taking my Isam G34 just to further blend it out. There we go. Taking a little more Divine Dahlia on the center. This transition is sickening. Golden Polaris. This is also a beautiful shade. I mean, listen, if we were just to quickly go over the possibilities, this shade on the lid with Blue Blood as a wing, Hypnotique all over the lid, and maybe Blue Blood to smoke it out. Like, this is such a fun curation. Polaris is so pretty. What? It, like, there's something going on here. I don't know what... Leftover swatches. This is a beautiful shade. Putting it on my cheekbones. Hypnotique a little bit on the inner corner. Just whisking away some of the fallout. No biggie. Blue Blood on the lower lash line just to pull everything together. Ooh, Blue Blood with Polaris. That already just on the lower lash line. How they're combining, it's making my heart flutter. I already have Natasha's highlighter on, I know, how dare I, but I think it's a good way to go to apply a base highlight first and then go in with your specialty highlight after. So I'm gonna take my Koyudo P03 brush with Golden Polaris and just tap it right. Oh my gosh. Okay, Frenz. You see it better on the cheek. Look at the pink. Look how shiny that is. What in the heavens? This is so pretty. Next eye. I'm done. Okay. We're gonna put on some lashes, don't you worry. We're just moving it right along because I don't want this video to be an hour long. Let's look at Rose Rebellion, yeah? Definitely taking my Isam G34 and just placing that all over the crease. I feel like fuchsia types of colors work better where the formula is a little more satin than matte, because I feel you just get better impact and blend from this. There was no indication of this being a pigment. Let me double check to see if this shade is considered a pigment and not a shadow. Well, it's definitely not vegan because it got carmine in it, but it doesn't have an asterisk next to it like... Hold on. This is what I was thinking of from Divine Rose 2. Rose Seduction is what this reminds me of. So this is Rose Seduction and this is Rose Rebellion. Rose Rebellion has a little more blue in it, whereas Rose Seduction is more Rose Warm. While I was swatching, I'm like, there's another color. Also, maybe Extreme Burgundy? No, Extreme Burgundy is definitely more plum than this one here. The Mink Noir. Look at that. Just, yeah, for sure. Going in with my Koyudo P03 because I want to get a little more. That's pretty. Ooh, all over the lid too. This is a shade. Lavendering. Now this, we're looking at some texture, but look at that shine. You know what? I know better. I need to apply a little more of my Hourglass. I'm just pressing some out here just to kind of get the lid a little bit tacky again. Not in any precise form or fashion. Just, well, you know, maybe a little bit, since I already have the edge of the brush to work with. I'm gonna feather the edges with my finger, and then, oh, you have to apply this wet. The primer didn't completely set down. The camera does not do it justice. It does not do it justice. Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. This lavendering is daring, all right? Now, the thing, I feel you'll run into problems if you try to pick this up initially with the brush. You definitely have to get the first application on with your finger and then use a smaller detail brush like the one I'm using here to fix around the edges to make it a little more precise. This is like an 80s eye right here. You know what this shade looks like? It looks like one of those illustrations Pat had posted on her feed. I think the illustrator is Japanese. It's like a female robot with like the pink bathing suit, but the metal looks like this color. Mink Noir with my Soneji. Classic crease. I'm gonna dab on the Ulta V. Whoa. I'm happy to say that Mink Noir is sticking. That got smoky real fast. Hakuhodo J5529 with Mink Noir to refine the blend here a little bit. This lavendering shade, I cannot. I'm bringing in a little more Rose Rebellion to pink up the inner part of the eye. I really enjoy this transition here, but I want to create a little more saturation. Now with this Copper Rose, which that I know for sure will look devastatingly beautiful on the lid by itself, because that shade, I know it's hard to see just placed on the inner corner. I'm gonna bring it up closer and higher, cover more surface area here so you could see more in action, and then take it on the inner lower lash line, because something Adiola, one of Pat's educators and makeup artists on our Behind the Beauty series interview, had said that these are meant to be used all over, not just on the eyes. You could use them on the face, so the motherships are designed to be like an artist palette, even if it's only 4 shades. A little bit of Mink Noir, the outer third, some Rose Rebellion just under to create like that slightly sickening ill haze under the eyes. Kind of want to put Copper Rose on the tops of my cheekbones, not gonna lie. Let's take the Wayne Artist brush in medium. That's pretty. Fam, I know it's hard to see because if you see, so you see there's a little something here on my cheeks. What a beautiful blush topper. And it just melted. Look at the texture. Hold on, let me turn down this exposure. Look at that. That just buffed in beautifully into the skin. Taking a little more lavendering with my Hourglass Veil Spray. Yes, 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 there it is. I'm done. Goodbye. Oh, now you could kind of see the blush. You don't have to put so much like I did. I mean, I definitely overdid it. You could probably apply it a little higher, but I'm very impressed by how it looks on the skin. All right, let me slap on some lashes and a lip and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of the finished look. We have Interstellar Icon and Risqué Rose. And on the lashes, I have my Ardell Naked Lashes in style 421. And here's a wide shot of both looks. On the lips, I have Pat McGrath Labs Permagel Ultra Lip Liner in Structure with Lisa Eldridge True Velvet Matte Lipstick in Velvet Fawn. It's very hard for me to decide which quad I like most at the moment, especially now we have to play with Fleur Fantasia. Right now though, you know I like my smoky eyes, and I definitely want to return to Interstellar Icon and just play with the different combinations, but lavendering, if you wet this shade, look how it just melts into the skin. And all the rest of the shades in here, again, while I realize they're not the Blitz Astral Melton Metallic VR shades, they're good. They're really good. They're up to Pat standards, I feel. I cannot wait to see more shades in this formula. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm actually very happy with this curation. I think you get a little bit of everything. So why don't we hop into Fleur Fantasia, play with the highlights also. And I'll see you back here in a minute. Prepped again with the Mario and the Hourglass. Let's do, I want to try this on as a highlight first. I reapplied my concealer. I didn't apply any highlight this time because I want to see this exclusively used as a highlight. Let's see what we got here. That's pretty. It has like a pink shift to it. The way it looks on the skin is just to die for. Lavender Blue, I'm right away. I'm not even wasting. Oh, I went in too much, but wow. Wow. Do what you need to do. Pat it down, you know? It's okay. I ain't mad at that. You know, this is for the ones who love to play with their highlight. Maybe apply a little higher on the cheekbones. I wiped that off. Let's try this again. I'll try it higher. Much better. As like a bracket. Now in person, it looks like I have blue on my face for sure. But I think that's just a fun option, you know, if you want to bring this onto the face. Because again, you see the blue, but I think it just has such nice shine to it. Most definitely want to try Lotus Paradise on the cheeks. This has such a lovely peachy hue to it. And it just melted into the skin. Beautifully formulated matte that, just judging from this, I feel will work also lovely on the eyes. And with Lavender Blue, forget it. I'm not mad at this side. I know it's a little crazy, but I like it. Let's start off with the Lotus Paradise on the crease. Now this, I think, is going to be the softest quad out of the bunch. I could only imagine if you wanted to combine them, if you happen to be getting all of them, already have all of them, you could use this shade to blend out Rose Rebellion or even Lavendering. Definitely going in with Iridescent Orchid on the lid. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a little spritzy spritz just right on the finger. There. That's it. It's almost neon. Can you imagine this with Lavendering? Ooh, that's pretty. Then Utopia on the inner corner. Definitely when paired with Iridescent Orchid, more pink shows through, is such a beautiful combination. And I'm pulling it here under the inner lower lash line. Lavender Blue on the lower lash line here as the dominant shade. Iridescent Orchid just to drape over the Lotus Paradise. I want to see how Lavender Blue looks as like a blown out shade in the crease. Isom G34 Lavender Blue all over. Not bad. That's pretty. You know, we're just experimenting, fam. And since this is the last quad, I figured I'll just use it twice on both eyes, but different ways. And I'm gonna pull it out so it can combine with what's going on here on the space cheekbone. That's pretty. I like that. How about now we go in with Utopia as like the standout lid color. That's a pretty combination. You know what we can do when we apply this, we'll go in with a little bit of Iridescent Orchid between Utopia and Lavender Blue. That melted so beautifully together. Wow. And why not Iridescent Orchid on the lower lash line? A little tricky to pick up with the brush. I would say perhaps wet it first so you could get a little more glide and stick, because this is more like a topper moment for me. It looks beautiful on the lid, especially when you build it up, but I think it's a little tougher to see under the lash line. So if anything, I would apply primer here just on the lash line so I could get a little more adherence to the skin. Pulling Utopia inner lower like I did here on this side. This is a very like springy Easter egg look, which I feel, should I add a wing liner? Let's do it. I'm gonna apply a wing liner on one or both. Come back with some lashes and I'll be right back for the close-up. Here's a close-up of both eye looks, and on this side, I took my liquid liner and I applied Blue Blood over, left the tip black, and applied a little bit of Iridescent Orchid on the inner part so it could be a gradient of that iridescent plum to the Blue Blood plum just to the black. And here I just applied the black liner, and on the lashes I got Mardell Naked 421. And here's a wide shot of both looks. You see we got the blue highlight Lavender Blue shade on the cheekbones, and on the other side we have the majority of it on the lower lash line. I think Fleur Fantasia is very spring. I mean, you're like, Alicia, we know. I'm sorry. So this may not be as holiday to you as maybe Interstellar Icon or even Rose Risqué. Overall though, it's very light, and I think this, for me, Fleur Fantasia is more of a face palette. So if you were to get this palette, it's very light on the eyes. As you see, it doesn't have as much impact again as the other quad, because here you got Mink Noir, in Interstellar Icon you got Blue Blood, so you got a little more variety in terms of the tone, the texture. I feel the shades in Fleur Fantasia are like on a similar wavelength. They're sitting right here, so you have to be really comfortable in perhaps playing with them on eyes and face. Maybe this is more of a supplementary palette to you if you choose to get it, because these shades really vibe with your mood and you pair it with other favorite palettes, whether they be matte shades, satin, or more metallic shades. I have to use these quads again to announce my favorite. I'm leaning towards Interstellar Icon. I mean, when I was talking about my top 5 favorite Pat McGrath palettes, I love Dark Star, I love Interstellar and Deep Space, that gray, and Metropolis, that like plummy aubergine metallic. I love smoky shades, and this delivers it in such a different way, especially Divine Dahlia and then Golden Polaris, either on the lid or cheekbone, as you saw, to die for. Risqué Rose, dare I say, might be the most user-friendly, and I know this is very pow wow in your face. Beautiful shade. I mean, it delivers in terms of the saturation, of the color impact. The texture is sublime, really easy to apply, especially as a crease shade. But then you got Mink Noir to hold you down. You still get the brown matte to be like, it's okay, stay grounded. But then you got the fun duochrome shade, and you have another shade that maybe not super duochrome like lavendering, but you could use it on your lid and the cheeks. And if you're a deeper skin tone, you could probably, hold on, wait a minute, I gotta do it. I can't believe I didn't do this the first time. Like really high on the cheekbones. Thank you. I could present a positive note about each of these quads. You really have to decide how creative you want to get, what shades just vibe with you the most. I love them all. I think they all have something to offer. Perhaps the most limited one, again, is the Fleur Fantasia, simply because it's mainly pastel. If you're not into that, then this one's not going to be for you. Interstellar Icon, beautifully smoky with Divine Dahlia, the Interstellar Icon, and if you already have Blue Blood and you hate repeats, then Interstellar Icon you ain't gonna get. But Rose Risqué, I think Rose Risqué will probably be the favorite. There are no repeats in here. All the shades I think are just beautifully formulated, and you got a little bit of everything. You got your satin, you got your matte, although Rose Rebellion is presented as a matte. I think it's more of a satin, okay? Lavendering is the new formula, so if you want the new formula, you have it here in Rose Risqué. And then Life on Mars, either on the cheeks or higher on the cheekbones, especially if you're deeper complected, will show up more as like that peach duochrome highlight on you, which leads me to say this might be the fan favorite, but who knows, my mind might change. I'm definitely gonna play with these again. I'll be happy to do so again on a live if you want to see more comparison swatches as well as more looks using these Luxe quads. And that is it, friends. Let me know if you're planning to pick up any of the Celestial Divinity Luxe quads. If you have already, if you're still waiting for them, I'm so sorry. They are currently now available on Sephora, so if you don't even want to touch patmcgrath.com, you can order them from Sephora. I will also have my shop links down below, and I always appreciate the support. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, tutorial, Pat McGrath video extravaganza, monthly favorites, or nightly live chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.